I like this.
All
I like
right,
the way
can you
this
hear
one
me?
looks. Yeah, I
You
can hear
hear
you.
me?
Can you hear me?
Perfect. Yes, this is great. This is the new setup.
Hell
This
yeah.
is it's officially I was trying to get on for the last 15 minutes, but I couldn't. It said it couldn't do it at some certain resolution and some size.
Yeah.
So, and you got the little logo behind there. I love it.
Yeah, yeah, man.
This
Yeah.
feels so much more official than our first one.
Oh, for
This
sure.
this truthfully feels like the first real episode.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I'm trying to figure out. Last time I was able to like move my screen around, and now
Hmm.
I'm not able to. So I got to figure. Let's figure that out first because
I can move mine around.
right before you joined, I was able to move mine
See,
around.
see, I'm moving mine.
Yeah.
So
It's not letting
something.
me.
Yeah. Uh,
Whatever changed when me and you joined together, it screwed it up. So give me just a second here, see if I can figure that out.
for sure.
I really hope I can because I had some TikToks for us to react to.
Oh, really? Oh, I'm
Yeah,
I'm excited for that.
yeah. Dude, your camera looks crisp. What kind of camera is that?
It is a webcam. I'm not entirely sure. It looks like I can't. I'll get you the brand after the podcast.
Okay.
Like I said, my dad's really good with this stuff, so he was helping me out with it. But
Right,
this is
right.
a really good camera. We did it all up, man. I feel so official, man. It feels so good.
Nice, nice, man. Let's see. It tells me my video settings are too high.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was telling me. So then you got to go to settings and like fuck with it until it like allows you.
Um, I don't know what I would change. I mean, everything's. I got my resolution set to 1080. I mean, maybe it needs to be 720. I don't know.
Oh, and I can read all the comments right here. This is great. I got them right to the left of me. What's the news with Stacy? Man, you know we keep that on the down low. They said anyone having podcasts these days. We're not just anyone, man. We're the local legends. The
Okay,
king of
so
Eastville and the rat of Eastville.
it tells me screen orientation can't be changed when you're live or recording. That's weird.
Huh.
Can't use this scene during co-host. That doesn't make sense.
Well, I don't know. I don't know.
I was able to do it last time too. This is weird. I don't know. It's kind of and it's not like so the thing I've noticed about TikTok Live Studio, there's not a lot of support on the internet about this.
Definitely not.
Like if you're using OBS or any other like mainstream software, there's tons of like articles and YouTube videos, but there's like nothing on TikTok Live Studio.
Yeah, because it's like kind of like a relatively like newer thing, I feel like.
Yeah, it is. Um,
And I can actually use my phone during this too.
yeah, let me. This is kind of frustrating. I don't understand.
Is there a way to play music? Is that a possibility? I don't know. Who's the
Let's see
CEO of this
here.
podcast? That'd be me. I'm the CEO of everything.
Yeah, we can roll with that.
What was
Let
my
me
idea?
let me see here. Okay, we are co-hosting, so I've got that set up. Um,
Can I join my own live?
this is so weird. I don't understand.
Oh, I can join my own live.
Let me. Dang, like this sucks. I don't understand.
I don't
Oh
know.
man, it's frustrating. Oh well. I mean, I guess we could maybe set this up later. We could mess around with it and
Yeah, we can do this for the next one. We can mess around, but let's just have some fun tonight and
yep.
talk about some stuff and let's do it, man.
Hell yeah.
It's gonna be great. We're
Yep.
reading through some of these chats right now.
Yeah, I gotta pop out my screen here so I can see the
Super
comments.
Bowl prediction. Unfortunately, the Chiefs and Eagles is just a nightmare matchup. Um, I wish they would both lose. That would be the ideal situation for me. But I think the Chiefs will win, and I kind of hope the Chiefs win because the Eagles are a division rival. So you'll never really catch you rooting for the Chiefs.
Let's see. Somebody man, I feel like I'm not on point tonight.
AOTY prediction. AOTY. Off. What is that?
uh
Of the what of the year? Something AOTY. Does she mean rookie of the year prediction? Album
I
of
don't
the
know.
year. Grammys. Oh, I don't follow music. I don't know if you have an album of the year.
No, I mean, nobody would know none of the albums that I listen to
You're gonna
anyway.
say something outlandish. You're gonna be like,
Well, I mean, I
you're gonna
listen to rap and metal. So, I mean, not a lot of people listen to metal, and not a lot of people listen to the kind of rap that I listen to. So,
right. Someone said, "Can I get a hell yeah?"
hell yeah.
Dude.
Let's see. Hold down shift and drag a source's edge.
Oh, you're still trying to figure this out, huh?
I was just looking at it. I mean, while you were going through
Yeah.
your comments, but I don't know. Anyway,
So I saw that long form skit you posted today.
yeah. So I took out the party scene.
I noticed that. I was like, where is the scene that was originally posted on your TikTok? But then I
Well,
realized I was like, well, of course it's
so here's funny thing about that video. So it got demonetized and then it got covered. Well, I appealed the demonetization and it got approved. So then I appealed the cover and it never got approved. It never got denied either. It just nothing ever happened with it. And then a couple days later, it went back to demonetized, and I couldn't appeal it a second time.
huh.
So it got
Demonetized
like
for the
from
long form skit or the short form skit within the long form skit.
the short one that I posted like a week ago, the party scene. Because remember I showed like the fake blood.
Yes.
Yeah, so I showed that, and I'm assuming that's why I got demonetized. But I've done that before, and I didn't have any issues. So I don't know. Yeah, it's weird. So I don't know. I just deleted it because it got demonetized, and I didn't. I've heard before that whenever you get a ding on a video or something of that nature, that they want you to delete the video. I don't know how true that is, but I've heard that when you keep stuff on your page that is deemed not eligible for the FYP and things like that, that it can affect your account. So I just want to
you took it down.
Yeah, I just went ahead and deleted it,
That's
and
probably the best.
I posted the full version of it today, minus the party scene. I mean, I showed like the beginning of the party scene.
Right. Yeah. So that fake blood stuff with TikTok, for some reason, and what after it got pointed out to you, then I noticed one of your manager videos actually got hit with like one of those do not watch things. I was wondering if it was that because there was fake blood in that too.
Did you see which one?
It was one where like you got punched in the face.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I haven't.
So I just happened to be stalking you earlier today.
Oh,
So I was bored. Sometimes I watch your videos and
yeah.
because they're entertaining. And I saw it. I was like, what the fuck? Like it like had that do not watch kind of thing on it.
Right.
Someone said Chad needs to pull up and get a haircut with me. I do. I need to get a haircut badly. Any
I
good,
cut it
any
for
good
you.
barbers in Eastville? Oh yeah. I don't trust your repertoire, bro. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god. Someone keeps commenting egg for your head. That's fine.
I get that a lot. Let's see. Is that Chad? Yes, this is Chad. So I was actually wanting to talk to you. Someone's just saying, "Is that Chad?" That just kind of sparked a thought in my head.
Let's hear it.
So for this podcast and something else I want to run by you, just keep that in mind.
Okay.
Let me finish my first thought.
All right,
But
you're
as
getting nervous,
far,
or am I intimidating?
that's what it is. Yeah, super intimidated. Anyway, for the sake of this podcast, I don't want to go by Kyle. I want to be Elijah Laughs.
Okay.
And I wondered from you, are you still wanting to go by like Chad or Ben?
I'm Chad, man. I'm Chad of the roots, bro. I don't know. It's hard for me to not go by anything else.
Because I mean, obviously, like just for this podcast, it's not like I want to change my.
I think for this podcast, definitely Ben is more suited. But
that's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah, but we'll obviously still reference Chad and Kyle very often.
Oh, for sure. I mean, that's what made us. But
obviously, yeah.
So that brings me to my next point, as far as like where like I don't know. I feel like me and you, we've got a good thing going here.
We do.
And I feel like me and you were pretty quickly, like once we started.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, somebody walked behind you. I thought that was my.
My dad's trying to help me with some of the audio stuff.
It tripped me out.
I know, but keep talking. He's gonna stay out of the way.
No, you're good. Anyway, And I've kind of had this thought running through my head, like we should start our own media company. Behind the Skits, like that's a podcast we're starting,
Right.
and but I think it should be ran under a media company that we start, and then we'll have different things under that media company. And I was thinking, like, I know we've talked before, like we could do Key and Peele style skits.
Right. Right.
I don't think that that would be very uh, easy to expand on if we stay doing that as Kyle and Chad. I mean, it would just be
Right, because
repeating
this,
the same
yeah,
thing.
because and then we oversaturate what we're doing on our own pages.
Yeah, and I'm never going to stop doing like the Kyle videos, the Josh the
Yeah,
manager, and I'm
of
sure you're
course
never going to
not.
stop the Chad videos.
Of course not.
But like I had this video idea for
Hmm.
me and you to do together, and I think it's very possible for us to do each in our own states. Like we don't have to be in person,
Okay.
but with the right editing, it would look like we're
Hmm.
together. And in my head, I was thinking it'd be perfect if we did it as like ourselves, not as the characters we portray, but like
Right,
as
right, right,
us.
right, right.
Like I think Behind the Skits could be more than just a
So,
podcast.
so you mean when you say media company, you mean like another, like kind of I suggested before, we have a dual platform where we also post skits.
Yes, yeah. But
Okay.
again, not just our collabs from Kyle and Chad, but
Right,
these are
right, right,
things that are
right.
more relatable, more just broad comedy, you know.
Someone said Vin Diesel, Paul Walker skit. That's
Hey,
funny.
so whenever I
That's
went bald, I've got these wife beaters that I wear under like my shirts.
mm-hmm.
And I went bald and was wearing that. And then I had just happened to have found a picture that somebody took with AI and made Vin Diesel obese.
Oh my
And we
gosh.
put them side by side, me and Vin Diesel, and it was scary how much it looked just like me.
Okay, so this is a question I want to address. Someone said, "Why are you always doing that teeth sound in your video?" Have you ever noticed that? Like I click my mouth or something like that. Maybe you haven't. A lot of people pick up on it. I
Yeah.
think it's the way I do it and I can like almost like snap into Chadisms if that makes sense.
Yeah. It's
It's
a
like
tick.
this
Everybody's got their little
yeah, it's
ticks.
this
I've got
tick
some
I've
too.
like developed. It's like now I'm Chad, you know? I can't even speak like him right now because I'm so into this podcast mode, but like when I'm like that, that's when I do that little thing. Here comes my tech guy. When I do this little thing, that's kind of how I snap back into Chad.
Yeah. Well, I mean, everybody's got their own little things. I have a tick that I do with my dip.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Oh,
I
I thought I
do this
noticed
a
you were
lot.
dipping in
Yeah.
the last live.
Yeah. I hope I don't say that and it gets my live taken down.
It won't. It won't.
I don't. TikTok censorship
Bro,
is it
people
doesn't
are
surprise me.
violating. They said Woody and Buzz skit. Come on, guys.
Yeah, I mean, hey, there's
No,
tons of ideas out
it's
there.
not from where I'm from. It's just kind of like something I've developed over time. Um, I don't know. It's quite interesting. I don't know, but another thing I think would be interesting to talk about is how difficult is it for you to make a skit without breaking character? And do you ever find yourself accidentally jumping into character in real life? I think that's a good
Uh,
question.
okay, for sure. Yeah. So, in terms of how often I break character, it's hit or miss. Whenever
Okay.
I first started, I broke character all the time. And this is actually something I've thought about and I've been meaning to make some sort of post about this, but I don't
Hmm.
want to because it's not really a skit.
Sure.
But as a comedian, sometimes I feel that comedy is losing its spark for me. Not like I'm unmotivated, but used to I laughed at all of my own jokes, and it's like now I've nailed down such a process for like what is considered funny that a lot of times I don't laugh at it as the way I used to would have.
Right.
And
Oops.
that's alongside practice makes perfect when you also look at it from I've just got it down to such a process that it's hard for me to sometimes uh trying to think how to word this. I don't want to say that it's not funny to me, but at the same time it's like because I've nailed it down to such a knit process that
Right.
it kind of does take away the funny aspect to me, but I know it's funny. If that does that make sense? Like what I'm trying to explain?
I'm gonna say I'm a little lost, but I'm also kind of understanding.
I I've really sometimes I'm not the best articulating things, so
Okay.
maybe
So basically, what you're saying is like you've kind of become like numb
a
to
little.
like
Yes,
a
that's the
little bit
perfect.
numb to like you're just so used to it.
Yeah,
And I'm gonna piggyback off this because I'm in the same boat. Like, you know, people comment and they're like, Chad, you must break character all the time. Like, dude, like I go film in public, no breaks. I just
yeah,
do it. Like I'm just like I make skits every single day, 7 days a week since June of 2024. It is so embodied in my head.
yeah.
Like it's crazy that I haven't become the character already. I guess it's probably because my life story is very different than Chad's life story.
Same
But
here.
yeah, like
But there has been a couple times where I have caught myself not acting like Kyle because that again, like you said, it's completely opposite of like who I am in real
right,
life.
right.
But I guess in a sense, I have caught myself a few times kind of snapping into that kind of mentality.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it just comes with the skits, I
The
guess.
hell yeah, though, is very natural. That
Yeah,
is not
but that's
something
your thing, and I'm saying, dude, you need to put that on a shirt, bro. I've been
I
saying
know.
that for
I
a long
know.
time,
One day I'll get around to it.
dude. I
Well,
mean,
but
so
yeah,
I made merch originally, but the merch team like went out of business, so
that sucks. And I
I
was
don't have.
actually recently thinking about asking you, were they still working out for you? Because that guy reached out to me.
Yeah, I know. They reached out to me about you, and I gave them all your info, just like that one company reached out to me. I gave them all your info.
Yeah.
You know, Big C always looking out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Always, man. I appreciate it.
Um, you know,
I did make a deal with them, by the way.
yeah,
Yeah,
like a good deal. You were happy about it.
a little bit. It's
We'll talk about it off the
yeah.
podcast.
It's different than yours, but yeah,
Okay. I'm curious to hear about it because I'm like I have a long term partnership with them.
yeah,
I'm locked in on a 6 month contract, I believe, but something like that. But well, I don't want to get too much into it.
yeah, yeah. I'll either
We'll
we'll
text
either
about it.
yeah text or call one or the other. But yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, but I do break character sometimes. Like if it's a new like scenario or something, if it's something kind of newer, then yeah, I do find myself breaking character, and that's why I
Right.
posted them the other day on my Josh the Manager video. And that actually wasn't me breaking character. That was just my speech impediment. I do have a slight speech impediment.
I've
It's
never
not.
noticed that,
It's never been diagnosed by a doctor.
but you've just kind of picked up on it as you've like
Yeah, like if
gone
I'm
on.
tired, um, I've noticed that sometimes when I'm trying to, I don't read a script for my videos. I kind of just do it off the top of my head sometimes, or like I'll have the idea of what I'm going to say, and I've
Mm.
noticed that it's worse when I'm trying to act, basically. So like right now, just
Right.
talking, I don't have that because
Because we're just having a normal
yeah,
dialogue right
it's just
now.
a conversation. But
Right.
uh, yeah, I don't break character as much as I used to.
Yeah. I mean, the character I break the most is like the unemployed son because it's a character that's rather new.
Yeah,
Um, but you know, because I also make this skit sometimes with my mom.
yeah,
Um,
which I've
you
liked
know,
those too. Those are pretty
yeah,
funny.
they're fine. They've all been my best viewed skits. I
Yeah,
mean, that's you know, graduated college and moved back here for a little while, and that's been the one advantage is I've had the supportive family
it kind of
around my
reminds me.
vision.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just say around my vision, and they love to help with my skits.
Yeah. Whenever you have your mom, it kind of reminds me of Two Turnt Tony. Do you remember him?
Yeah, dude, I
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, it kind of gives those vibes, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely gonna continue making those skits with her. But you know, it's so hard to like know what people want to see because
Mhm.
like I put out a skit like that I think is gonna be a banger and it's a new concept and you know I'm always have the fucking fat filter on, but it's not always the same version of Chad. It's all these different people and I make this skit and it's this new thing. I'm like everyone wants to see something different and it flops. And then, you know, I go make some same old skit that I don't even want to make. And then, of course, it does way better. So it's so hard to like figure out what these people want to watch, you know?
Yeah. And I know we've talked about this before where it's like on TikTok, that seems to be the trend, but like on Instagram, it doesn't.
Yeah, Instagram is like just filled with a lot of hate, dude.
So I don't
I
get hate on Instagram. I know you said you do. I get hate on Facebook.
see. I'm not big on Facebook, but I'm big on Instagram. I have like
Yeah.
70K on there. So like I'm just dude, just scrolling through the comments, like hate after hate. These are like 40, 50-year-old men. I'm like, dude, go put a diaper on your kids, dude. Go spend some time with your
I
friends.
was responding to a couple of hate comments yesterday or maybe the day before. It was yesterday. And then I went to TikTok and I had a comment. It wasn't really a hate comment, but it was definitely one of those ones where it was like she was not really talking crap about me, but she was essentially saying my video wasn't funny. I guess she kind of felt attacked by the video. It was my Josh the Manager video.
Okay.
And I responded to her in a way I shouldn't have because I was like in that mode of replying to haters.
Right, which
And then
is always so annoying.
yeah, well, on Facebook, I make it a point to reply to all the hate comments.
Because you probably don't get a lot of them.
On Facebook, I do. Dude, you should
Oh,
go through
really?
my Facebook and like I'll send you.
Okay. Yeah, you got to show me. I don't use Facebook like that. I
Yeah,
don't even like, yeah, but I'm can only imagine the amount of adults that are festering on Instagram that Facebook is 100 times worse.
yeah. I mean, it's a completely different audience.
Oh, I'm
But
sure. That's probably why my skits don't do well on there because my skits are tailored to people who are younger.
yeah, but I'd say
Yours
it's
are tailored to a bit of an older audience for some of them.
a little bit. You know, speaking of that uh the brand deal that me and you were just talking about, they almost didn't want to do a video with me because my audience, they wanted at least 55% of my audience to be 18 to 24. And
Who?
mine was only 40 something percent.
What? The company?
Yeah.
We were. Oh, really?
Yeah. Because they
Wow.
asked for screenshots of my followers'
Okay.
demographics, and I sent it to them, and they said, "Well, we really prefer," they said we require 55% 18 to 24.
Because college students.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's their thing.
but
Huh.
I had 44, and then I had a bigger section from the 25 to 34.
Okay.
So that's where my biggest is 8 or 25 to 34, and then 18 to 24 is my second biggest.
So, my last time I checked, floating in around 70% at 18 and 24 for me,
Yeah,
and then about 20, like 15%, like 24 or 25 to like 37, then like the rest is like little stuff.
yeah,
I definitely. I mean, I'm also 24. I just turned 24, so
yeah.
I guess that's, I don't know, maybe it's my age range. Let me see. So someone asked a good question. I want to get to the Q&A section later. I want to do like a formal Q&A section.
Okay,
But someone did ask a really good question that I think that should be proposed to both of us. And I'll let you answer first. What is the skit you're most proud of?
that's a tough one.
Oh yeah, because there's a lot of them.
I mean, I would say the one I'm the most proud of is the first one that blew up.
Okay, that's valid.
And man, I wish that I could get my screen to work so we could play it.
I know. This would be fucking like.
I wonder if I could send it to you and you could play it.
Yeah. So is there?
Yeah.
Is there,
So I'll talk about it while I go find it. But basically, I would say I'm the most proud of that one because I posted it once on this TikTok, my main account now, and it sort of got a little traction.
Mhm.
And I was still trying to figure out like what am I going to do to become successful on TikTok? Like I hadn't blown up yet.
right.
It had like 30,000 views, which for me at the time was a lot, but I had a bigger goal. And so I took the video, I deleted it, and I re-edited it just slightly, changed the title, and reposted it like a month later, and it blew up. Like for me, it was my most viewed video at that time.
Wow.
And it was me in the Walmart parking lot showing off my Mustang.
Hell yeah.
And so yeah, I would have to say like just because I feel like that's kind of what got me started as far as blowing up here on TikTok.
That's fair.
And
This
I'm
is-
looking
this is
at
like
it.
the origins.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. It's at 2.3 million views. So I've definitely had
Okay.
more videos with more views since then. Well, actually, I take that back. I posted one before that had 1.1 million views. So I guess maybe. Oh, I remember. Okay, so that makes more sense. I had one that blew up finally.
Yeah.
And then that's when I decided, okay, let me go find this other video that I had made like a couple months ago. Deleted it, reposted it, and then it blew up that time as well. So,
Right.
uh,
Okay. So
Yeah, I'm
was
gonna send it
one
to
of
you.
your early videos. Yeah, send it to me.
do what?
I said definitely send it to me.
Yeah, I'm gonna send it to you right now, and then maybe we can set it up to where you can play it.
If you could walk me through that.
Well, I mean, it should be as simple as adding a new scene
Yeah. You mean a source?
source. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. And
And
doing what?
you have to. Do you have TikTok downloaded on your computer?
Not at the moment.
Okay, so maybe we'll just have
Well,
to do that another night.
okay. Um, okay. I guess I'll answer the question then, because we'll have to do this another night. But
Yeah,
okay. Well, I want to say one more thing. I think that's pretty cool that like you value that like first video that really
it
started it
defined who
all.
Kyle is.
Right.
Yeah,
I guess I have a completely different take on it. So, my early videos, looking back on them now, I absolutely hate them.
yeah,
Like, I think they are absolute trash. I think that I'm shocked that the audio quality, the background, the slow dialogue even did so well. But I guess it's was like I love to watch it because like each skit I progressively got better. Um, I progressively got more comfortable with acting. I have had no acting experience prior to this, no comedy experience, no content creation experience. I raw dogged this.
yeah.
I had no experience. I made one funny video um, that was a joke with um, one of my former best friends. If you want a story time about that, he kicked me out of his wedding the day before. I was the best man,
Oh
but
man.
we'll get into that in another day.
Well, I, I don't mean to interrupt you. I was just gonna say I have a funny story about my wedding and what was one of my
Well,
one my best man and two one of the groomsmen. So maybe we get
I,
those tonight.
I think we should actually. I think let's ask the chat. But do we want to hear the best man stories tonight from
Yeah.
me and Kyle as I continue to answer this question? So, anyways, that is what started it all. We actually ran the account together for a few days, and we posted a few videos, and then my video completely exploded. Um, and I was like, "Hey, look, man, like you're not really posting a lot on here. I'm gonna take this over." Yeah, sure, man. I don't care. Like, I just took it over. But I think my favorite skit I think it's hard to say because I like so many of them. Um, but I think my favorite one is the skit I did around Christmas time with my mom.
Okay.
It's teetering on 10 million views. Um,
Nice.
and like 1.3 million likes. And it was the unemployed son on Christmas morning. And he walks down. He's like, "Merry Christmas! Like, where are the presents?" And mom's like, it's pinned to my profile. And mom's like, "You're almost 30 years old, Chad." Like, and she gives him a shirt for job applications, and that was what kind of sparked the unemployed son. And at that time, the skit was posted. Like, I had barely 200K, and that character actually sparked me over like that 300K. That's been my growth, the most growth I've
Nice.
seen in a short. So that's kind of my favorite skit. That's my thing. But my early skits were great, but they got so much better over time. And I really only
Yeah.
did Snapchat skits to start. I was like, "Hey, like,
Yeah.
I'm the plug or whatever. Like, hit me up." Like the character had no volume. It was just like a gimmick, but it turned into a lot more than that.
Yeah.
Um, but anyways, moving on. That's what I have to say about that.
Cool. Well, uh, eh, whenever we do get to watch some of these videos we're talking about, if you look at what my videos, just the whole structure and like how I made the videos, like my voice, everything is different as to
Right.
what it is now. And I feel like that's definitely a good thing because you have to adapt, you know,
Right.
and you have to adapt to what's going to work and
Yeah.
everything. So
I mean,
I bet if
it
I
is.
tried to
Yeah.
make the same video that I did back then, it wouldn't do very well.
hmm
Um,
Probably not because you've evolved so much past that character. It's like people are like, What the fuck is this? He's done so much better."
yeah,
Like if I went out and sat in my backyard and propped my phone up on the candle that I have out in the backyard and like hit timer record and just spoke for a minute and 30 seconds, it would not get any love.
yeah,
I've pulled in, I don't even do green screen skits anymore.
yeah,
I gave up on the green screen. I'm trying to do everything in public.
yeah. I try not to do green screens, but sometimes when I have an idea, I'm like,
You have to, if yeah, like,
yeah,
I can't do like certain, like some things just need to be done green screen. Like, in
yeah.
the hallways of the school. No school is going to let a 24-year-old man in. As much as Chad wishes they would, they won't.
You could try at college. I feel like that's what Joe Roth does. I don't know if he is like enrolled in that school or maybe he knows one of the
Well,
professors or
he's like 24, almost 25. It's UF. So I mean, colleges are public property if it's a public school, pretty much. Like they don't. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I could probably go to a public college around here. I probably should do
Yeah.
that. Anywho, that's damn. Someone sent you a little chicken thing.
Oh, let's see. Let me address this really quick. Let's see. Sarah with the heart me and the naughty chicken. Appreciate it. Ghost with the tiny diny. That was actually from a while ago, but sorry if I missed any of your gifts. I'm actually, while you were talking, I was replying to this comment. My last video, it's not performing that well, but I've had a couple of comments like, "Oh, look at this budget increase."
I actually noticed that.
And
I think
I'm just thinking
one of those comments.
I'm just thinking like it's the same iPhone I record all my skits with. I think what the difference is I did it vertical or horizontal landscape mode. And then I used my cinematic camera and like the opening scene is like the sunlight was perfect that day for shooting a video. And then you have the cinematic mode, the background was blurred. It just looks more professional.
I agree. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I agree because it just looked great. Like I thought you used a professional camera or something.
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, and that's kind of what we were just talking about. Like green screen, it definitely takes away from the quality. It's hard to get that professional look. And also when you're recording like in my house, I'm not going to get that high quality camera look either because there's nothing will ever beat recording outside. And some of my best videos, like the one that I got last, or it was either November or December, when I had like almost 7 or 8 million views across 2 videos, it was because I recorded it outside. The lighting was perfect that day. And that definitely plays a huge role in production qualities, having that perfect lighting.
It does. It does. No, I totally agree with that. There have been some skits, like even the skit I made today out at work with one of my coworkers. I just checked, it's at 114K in an hour. The lighting was so good and like everything just tied together. Like if you get that right lighting and that right scene, it can really add a lot to it. So I was pretty surprised that your skit underperformed. Although I think it might have been because it was like that landscape mode.
Yeah, yeah. That's probably
if it
it.
had been portrait, it probably would have been doing crazy numbers.
I might delete it and repost it in
not a bad idea.
Portrait mode, yeah.
Okay, someone proposed a really good question. Do you ever feel disappointed with the views of a skit? If so, how do you deal with it? Do you want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
You've been letting me go first. You go first on this one.
So when I first started TikTok, I didn't really like care about the views. So I would just post like 3-4 times a day. You might even remember I used to post so much.
Yeah.
I would just fucking flood skits. That's how I grew so quickly. So I didn't really look at the views. Then I started posting once a day, and I got really attached to the views. Like if a video flopped, I wouldn't give it more than 30 minutes if I thought it was flopping. Like I'd be freaking out. I'd be privating. I'd be trying to repost it. I'd be fucking up my algorithm. I pretty much let the views on my day, the views of the skit control my day.
Yeah.
Like always looking at it. Then I kind of just like, as I've continued this, and I've been doing this for so long, I post it. I check it periodically. That's it. I mean, I can't control it. So no, I used to let it seriously affect me. It sucks though when you have a really, really good video and an idea you think is really, really great, and you wake up the next morning it has 50,000 views. It sucks.
Yep.
It's like a knife to the chest, but you just got to deal with it.
Yep.
That's how I felt yesterday. I made a skit with my mom. I thought it was really, really funny. I've never done a skit with her under 1 million views, and I woke up at 96,000 views, and it sucked. But I made one today, and it's already at like 120. So
yeah,
well, you just got to get on to the next one.
You just move on to the next one.
Yeah, I mean,
now
I thought it was funny. People didn't. That's okay.
Yep. And are you finished?
Yeah,
I didn't want to like move on into what I was going to say. So kind of piggybacking off what you just said, like the video I posted today, it's at 21,000 views, and I posted it at 1:00 today. It's now 8:46. So I mean, that's very, very low for me. Does it bother me? A little bit, because to me, I put a lot of effort into that video.
Right.
I actually recorded it over the course of like 3 different days, actually.
Jeez,
man. And So yeah, I mean that's super discouraging. But like you said, you just move on to the next one, and it's also you have to evaluate. Okay, what did I do that made this video flop? Because it's not always the algorithm that screws you over. Sometimes it's yourself, and you just want to blame something other than yourself.
Right. I'm always trying to blame other things.
Yeah, and I've been guilty of that too. So I've kind of approached it now where it's like, let me evaluate what I posted, let me evaluate my hook, what I did in the beginning, things like that, and I try to just I'll either delete it and redo it and hope that it does better the second time,
Right.
or like you said, I just move on to the next one and I don't worry about it because does it really matter? No.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you just got to move on to the next one. I
It's
mean,
not
that's
like it
just
flops to the point where nobody liked
no.
it.
Like
Now,
it's not like it says 5K views or something
yeah,
like
now
that.
I've done one video that I regret doing.
What
It's
and what is that?
it was the one that I did the couple pranks. I don't know if you remember that one
Yeah, that one. I
because
understand why that didn't do well.
and in hindsight, yes, I've realized that maybe I didn't deliver very well on that joke because I had seen another video where somebody made a similar joke about couple pranks
Mhm.
and it had like over 1 million likes and I thought, okay, I'm gonna make my own version of this. It's gonna be original. Go ahead.
Well, now let me say this before you beat yourself up about it. I just don't think it's your audience and your niche.
True.
I don't think it appeals to those people because I have tried like I when there was a popular athlete thing going around, there was this guy Travis Hunter. His
Hmm.
girlfriend got exposed for like cheating on him and going to parties. He'd wait inside the car and all this stuff. So I tried to make a parody of it and put myself in that situation if Chad was like waiting in the car. And it completely flopped because it just wasn't relevant to my niche. Even though videos like that were getting 500,000 likes, 1 million likes.
Right.
So that's what I'll say about that. So don't beat yourself up and think maybe I didn't deliver it right. It could just be that's not what your audience is looking for.
To an extent, but I've also made other videos like my Josh the Manager videos now are not what they were when I first made that character. It was a completely different approach and it wasn't creepy. It was a different type of humor and that one hit well. Like I had several of
Yeah.
those get millions of views. So
But you
yes,
play that character so well.
to an extent, yeah, it's because of the audience,
And
but
I've seen so many people rip that off after you.
oh, for sure.
Because you were the first one I saw doing that.
Like the
Like the
creepy
creepy
Josh.
the creepy manager.
Yeah, that's true.
Like
But I'm saying like that character initially wasn't creepy. It was just
mm,
like the
the
struggles of
manager.
working in fast food.
Yeah, and that's not like it's relatable.
But it had millions of views and it hit very
Oh,
well.
really?
That's what I'm
Oh,
saying.
okay. Oh, okay,
So
okay,
I'm
okay.
saying yes, to an extent, it can be that maybe that video isn't within your audience's niche. But I'm saying I've done videos outside of my normal niche that did hit well.
Right, right, right.
So I'm saying yes, to an extent, it could be the style of video, but I do blame that as from my own evaluation of that video after I posted it.
Okay.
I
That's fair.
realized, yeah, I just realized like I just didn't deliver it well. I rushed it. That was the other problem.
Yeah.
I that should have been a video that took hours to make, and I did it under an hour.
Yeah, see, I've done that stuff. Like,
Yeah.
you want to get it out so bad because you're like, I need to get it out because it's trending and it's gonna get likes.
Well, not even that. I just didn't have time to do it the way I
Oh,
wanted
okay.
to do it.
Okay.
I think
okay.
if I redid that video today or tomorrow, next weekend, I'll have kind of some free time. If I were to remake it, I do think it would deliver well.
Then you
I
should
would take
remake it.
I might. I have other things that I want to do, now instead.
Fair.
But
That's fair. This isn't really a question, but someone said, "Are we on Spotify? Is there a way that we could get on Spotify?"
for the podcast,
Yeah.
possibly. I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, I'm sure
We'll
we
look
could
into
set that
that.
up. I mean,
We'll
I
get into that.
definitely am. I'm going to invest into that soundboard that you were talking about, and then I want to get a better
Yeah.
camera because I definitely think that'll
I
help.
can send you the link to this webcam on the soundboard after the podcast if you want.
Oh yeah, for sure. Do that. Did you get it
Yeah.
on Amazon or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, both from Amazon.
See, I bought this camera when I bought my computer, and at the time it was more of just like, I'm just gonna get like a basic webcam. It said 1080p,
Okay.
but it's not what I want it to be. So
Someone said it's very easy to get on Spotify, by the way, just so you know.
Yeah, I'm sure we could definitely. I would.
Yeah.
We could get on Spotify, Apple Music Pod, or not
We'll
music.
get on everything. I mean, this is something I want to keep doing as long as we can.
Oh, for sure.
I think this is I was definitely pushing for the idea, and because I knew it would be something that would go beyond our like lives, because our lives were so good and they were getting so many views. It's like, why not kill three birds with one stone? Why not do a podcast live, and a playable thing to listen to and watch?
For sure. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Someone said, "What's your dream collaboration?" We kind of touched on that in the
Yeah.
last.
You'll have to go check out our other podcasts.
Yeah, we touched on that in the
Uh,
last episode.
I got a question that maybe
Okay.
I'll
Yeah.
let
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll let you answer first.
Okay.
What? So, let me just preface this, Israel.
Okay.
We both work full-time jobs still, but the question is, what jobs y'all had before TikTok, and are you happy before or after? So, maybe we'll approach it a little differently since we both still work, but maybe just answer it how you feel fit.
Yeah. Okay. So, I work with my dad, and I know he's watching this podcast. But this is the first time I've ever had joy doing something that's created income.
Yeah.
I've never enjoyed anything else. So that's the short and sweet answer
Yeah.
for me.
I guess for me, whenever I first started doing TikToks before I blew up, I was a machinist. I did CNC machining, and I think like the average person, nobody just enjoys going to work. I just think we all accept that it's something you have to do,
Yeah.
and I wasn't happy, but I was also not happy for other reasons too. Like I've lost 80, I'm still overweight, but I've lost 80, 85 pounds. Like that has made me happier. But at the job that I was working, I stood on my feet all day. And I really felt that there was no room to progress up and do better than what I was doing. I just felt like I would always be at a machine the rest of my life. So then I decided, well, let me go get my CDL. Let me go drive a truck because I can make more money, work overtime, and I get to see like the outside world. I get sunlight every day.
Right.
So I
You
did
found
that.
something that works better for you.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it created more income for myself. And that's always been my motivation for anything is like, what can I do that's going to help me reach my financial goals? And that's one of the reasons I started doing, content is because it's something I enjoy doing. I do feel like I'm the kind of person that like I want to express my creativity through comedy. So comedy skits is an easy way for me to do that. And I know it's a way to reach those financial goals. I don't really want the fame. That's the thing, but I understand like that's just part of it. So I still work a full-time job because what I make now is not enough to live off of with a family. If I was single, I could definitely live off what I make as a content creator. But it wouldn't be an extravagant life right now. I know once I start getting more brand deals, better quality brand deals, I'll be able to quit my job and do this full time. I don't like going to work, like I said.
No.
But it doesn't make me not happy.
Okay.
Maybe to an extent it does because like I have 2 kids and I have to miss so much of their lives because I have to work,
Right.
But to say I'm not happy, I would say no. But is it what I want to do for the rest of my life? Also no.
That's what it comes down to, because I didn't give a full enough answer now that you dove into it. I think that, like, first of all, I have a girlfriend. Like, obviously she's upstairs right now. I told her I had to do this. So I was like, get out. But so technically I'm single. I'm not married. So my income from these skits and the generous brand deals that I've been doing is more than enough for me to not work at all besides this. But the only reason I really work is because I like the time I get to spend with my dad. Um, you know, I graduated college. I was in college for 4 years. I didn't really get to see him all that much.
Yeah.
And I love my coworkers. And so that's really keeps you there. And it keeps me on a schedule. It keeps me on a schedule. And I feel like kind of if I was doing content full time right now, I'm not really doing enough to make it. I feel like I would get really lazy just be in my basement all day playing video games, making a couple of skits, doing a couple of lives. I just feel like right now, like, I don't know. It's just giving me like a sense of like a schedule, and then the skits and the content is like my hobby, and that's my outlet for stress right now. That's
Yeah.
how kind of how I look at it.
See, if I were to do this full time, and I told my wife this because I would do the same thing. I would get in if I were to quit my job today. I feel like I would get in a place where I'm content. Like, oh, I make enough money. I don't need to do more. So
Right.
I've thought this through several times. When I get to that point where I do quit, I'm going to treat this like it is a job. I'm going to
You
wake
have to.
up. I'm going to wake up. This is just a rough draft of a schedule, but this is how in my head I imagine it would be. I wake up, have my coffee, maybe spend an hour with the family,
Sure.
and then I would go to my office and I would not even make videos, but just like write. I would try to come up with 10 different jokes within an hour, 10 jokes that I could implement into a video. And then once I got those 10 jokes, I would take maybe the best two or three, make a skit about them. And if that took 2-3 hours, that's how long it would take. I would also focus more on like making more content, but not compromising the quality. So a lot of people, they think, well, I'm just going to post more and more, and then they end up compromising quality. I would still keep the quality that I make now, but just produce more. That would have to be my schedule because, like you're saying, I would get caught up in like, well, now I have this freedom. Let me just go do my own thing for the day, and
Right.
then it becomes like, well, I'll do it tomorrow, and then next thing you know, it's
Right.
been 6 months and you've made no progress.
Exactly. So that's kind of like you don't want to get stuck in the mud, as they say.
Yeah, for sure.
So, so you would have, yeah. And my buddy James, I don't know if you've caught a couple of the collab skits we've made.
Yeah, I
He
have.
does really good editing. We got to get him on as a guest one day. He's a really funny dude, but he does it full time. And he's like on a schedule. He's like, he wakes up, he fucking edits, he fucking grinds, he does a skit, he does a brand deal, like, and he's even told me that he was like moving out soon, because his studio, I guess, is at his parents' house, but. And he's like, oh, I'll just commute there like it's my job. I'll wake up at a regimented time, and that's what you have to do.
Yeah,
That's the way you make content creation work full time. Because if you're just sitting around like making skits here and there and be like, oh, I'm gonna do this whenever the fuck I want, like it's not really a job. Like, you know?
oh yeah, yeah. There has to be, and it's funny. I've heard, like, I'll never forget this conversation I had with this one guy. He was working. He was getting off work, and he was like, "Man, I wish I didn't have to work so much overtime."
Mhm.
And I don't remember exactly what all I said to him, but we got to chatting back and forth, and he was like,
Uh-huh.
"Well, I don't have to work." And I was like,
Right.
"Really? What do you mean by that?" And he was like, "Well, I started a construction company when I was 20 years old, and I built it and became a multimillionaire. And then I sold it for even more millions of dollars."
Sounds like
And
a Chad story.
yeah, well, I mean, this is real shit. I mean,
Okay. No.
uh, anyway, he said that, yeah, I sold my company and I've got millions of dollars in my bank account. And he said he got tired of hearing his wife nag him all the time. And I said, well, what if you like did something that made you happy? And he's like, well, I did. I went and bought a boat. And he
Okay.
said, I've always wanted a boat. I've always wanted to just go fishing whenever I want. And he was like, yeah, for 6 months, that was fun. But then after that, it just became monotonous. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, I guess that makes sense. I mean, I don't relate because I'm not in that situation. But so then he said that he just went and got a job to give him something to do.
Right.
I disagree. I can think of several things that I would love to do,
Yeah.
but that's what he's decided to. And
yeah, and that's his life.
yeah,
Good for him.
but I don't know. I can understand like feeling like you need something to keep you busy, to have a purpose, things like that. But I'm not
Yeah,
going to
that's
go get a
kinda
job that
yeah.
makes me work a bunch of overtime.
No. Fuck
Because
that.
he was
No.
telling me he works 50 to 60 hours a week. I mean, that's what I work
Go-
now.
Yeah, go get
Part-time at Walmart.
Volunteer. Go
Yeah.
get a volunteer job where you're teaching special needs kids, or you're like helping with like, I don't know, like get something that's like valuable to the community, not just like fucking like wage slaving for 60 hours.
Yeah. He was driving a truck delivering porta potties.
Yeah, that's like miserable, dude. Like, that's the worst job ever. Well,
Yeah.
no, it's not the worst job ever, but it's one of. Especially, is he cleaning them too?
Oh, I don't know. I think he just delivers them. I mean, I don't know. I was there fueling the trucks. This is back when I drove a tanker truck, and I had to go like fuel all these trucks all night. Kind of sucked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um,
Gosh.
I don't know if you got any questions, but I got one that maybe you'll want to answer. Do you have any advice for how to write skits?
Mm, I'll say this. Um, Everybody has their own process. Um, find a niche that you think you can draw some comparisons, whether it's the real world or you think you can fit into. Um, don't script it too much. If you script it, it's gonna be tight. You're
Yeah.
gonna be looking at the phone and be like, oh, what's the fucking line? Be loose, turn the camera on, take a bunch of cuts, speak, mess around. It's my advice.
Yeah, and I'm pretty much in the same. Like, I don't write scripts. I do from time to time, especially with collabs, because when you're dealing with two people, like there has to be some sort of organization. Because then, if I have an idea and I tell it to you, and then you kind of just take it and do your own thing, and then it might not fit well with what I had in mind, then I have to change what I was
Yeah,
doing. So to an
yeah,
extent, there needs to be some sort of like at least mental organization of what you want the skit to be.
yeah.
But yeah, don't focus too much on like a tight knit script.
Absolutely not.
I
And
can't
and
tell you
that's
how many different takes I have of the same scene. And if I were to take both scenes side by side, they're the same scene, but they're different.
right.
And that's something I try to do as well. It's like I'll do 2 or 3 cuts, and then I pick. Sometimes I even like if I do the same scene twice, and I like the first half of the first one and the second half of the second one, I edit those together, and most people can't tell. I mean, uh, but yeah, that's what I would pretty much just say the same thing he said. Don't
Yeah,
overthink it.
yeah. Don't overthink it.
And it doesn't even have to be funny. I don't know if you're wanting to do like comedy skits, but there's so many different types of skits. Like you can do skits that are just relatable.
Yeah. You don't have to like.
Like I'm
Joe
on the
Roth
side of
skits are more
TikTok.
relatable.
Yeah, like I'm on the side of TikTok right now. I don't even work as a server, but there's like 3 or 4 creators that I follow. They make skits about their interactions with the public working as a server. And like
Oh, like
sometimes
what's his name? Bistro Huddy.
oh, I love him, yeah.
He's
But
funny.
he's
He's
funny, but
funny.
there's some other ones that they're not that funny, but they're still skits and
Right.
they're relatable because a lot of people have been in those situations. Um so yeah, I mean it's really different approaches you can take to skits. I just do comedy skits because I feel like I have a niche, which is comedy, so
Right.
but yeah, I mean the other thing I would say is just start.
Yeah.
Don't overthink it. Just start and watch your favorite creators. Don't copy them. Like don't copy
Yeah.
them word for word, but do what they're doing, and that will work.
Yeah. And it will. It will.
Yeah, I mean that's me and you both. I
Yeah.
would say have done that.
Yeah.
So
Because I drew inspiration from tons of people. I drew inspiration from you. You know.
yeah,
I drew inspiration from Joe Roth. All these people that I saw were making skits. My buddy James. Like everybody.
yeah.
Um. Okay. I want to get to a question. Might be a quick one. Someone said, "Is it hard to expand your content into other apps?" Go ahead.
Uh, yes and no. Like it's hit or miss. There will be times where if I post a video on TikTok and it goes viral, it also goes semi-viral on Instagram, and then just as bad as viral on Facebook.
Okay.
Uh, However, I was actually just listening to a podcast earlier today, and they were talking about you really need to know your audience between different platforms because every platform
Yeah.
has a different audience.
Fair.
And I've also noticed there's times more than others. This happens more often where I post something on all 3 platforms Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and it performs better on one than the other 2.
Hmm.
Like the video I posted where I was at the park and I was picking up the prescription. That video did better on Facebook than it did on Instagram and TikTok. Surprisingly. I don't
Yeah.
know
I
why.
guess it
I
could
don't
be
know
more
why. I don't know
about
what about that
moderation.
video. Yeah, I don't know. But uh, yeah, I guess that's. I don't really find it difficult. It's just so random knowing what's going to work for different platforms.
Yeah, it's kind of like you're playing like you're in a maze.
Yeah,
Um, I mean, I'll say this. I mean, when I post a video on TikTok and it racks up views, I go check Instagram. It's always doing the same thing.
yeah.
Like my most viral videos on TikTok are my most viral videos on Instagram, pretty much. I've done pretty well. I've hit the Instagram algorithm pretty good. Facebook, absolute abomination.
You just
One of
gotta
my
Facebook.
one
You
of the
just gotta keep doing it, and it's
I
like,
do, but they get like 300 views and like 2 likes.
yeah. I mean, that's how it was
That
when I first started on Facebook. It's
Yeah, so I'm just gonna keep going because I know you can monetize on there. So it's like whatever.
There's this guy on
Um,
YouTube, Corey
mhm.
McLean. I'll send you one of his videos. Uh, I don't think I could find this specific video, but his whole page is based around like Facebook, how to be a better Facebook content creator. And one of his videos, like over a year ago, he said that it was not confirmed, but it was kind of just insinuated that it was confirmed. Someone from Facebook said that like there is a certain amount of videos you have to post before the algorithm will even like recognize you as a consistent and valuable creator.
That's fair. I mean, I guess like they want people who are consistently posting.
Yeah. So you just got to keep
Yeah,
doing it.
I'll just keep going, and I'll chime in one more thing. I don't understand the YouTube Shorts algorithm.
I don't either.
Um, I've never had a video do well on there. I'll have videos that get 10,000 views and 10 likes, and then 500 views and 100 likes. I don't
Yep.
get it. I think I'm gonna stop posting on that platform. That's all I'll say.
Yeah. Well, for me, I'm like the video that I posted last week on YouTube. It got 2,000 views,
Well,
and
that's great for a video
yeah.
on
So
YouTube.
I think that's. I know we talked about this before, so we don't have to get too deep into it. But I think the solution is focus on creating 2 to 3 videos into one.
Mhm.
Like the last one I did, I was able to take just that party scene and post it as one single video on TikTok. And then I was able to post like the full thing
Right.
minus the, so like you can get 2 or 3 videos from that. And it does take a little more time, and
It does.
there's less reward right now, because right now I don't make money from YouTube.
Yeah.
But I think if I'm consistent with it over time, I'm going to build that audience over on YouTube. And then that's when monetization and all these other brand deals that can happen and things like that. So
Yeah,
YouTube
TikTok's just one
Shorts,
platform.
yeah, YouTube Shorts, yeah. I've actually been listening to some videos, and I'm going to stop posting shorts as well. It's just going to be long form content
Yeah,
that
'cause
ends up.
it's like, dude, it's not even worth it. It's like
You have to get so many views just to get monetized on shorts.
yeah, I'm not gonna keep doing it. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, yeah, that's all I really have to say about that.
Yeah.
I think we should get into the stories.
Okay.
I think we should transition over.
Yo, Big Deep with the sunglasses. Appreciate it.
I think that would be a fun way to kind of, because I probably only have about like 15, 20 more minutes. So I think that would be a good way to like end out the podcast.
Cool, cool. Well, now it's time for the comedy aspect of this podcast.
Yeah, this is the comedy aspect of this podcast, and we're gonna talk about a couple of interesting wedding related stories, and maybe how you drew inspiration with some content or whatever. All right, who has the honors going first?
You got this one.
Okay, all right. So I had a buddy. Growing up, we weren't really close. I didn't meet him until I was like 15 or 16. We played college tennis together. You know, went to college together. You know how that stuff goes. Like you just build
Yeah.
relationships over time. And you know, back in my junior year of college, he called me and he was like, I'm gonna propose to my girlfriend. And I'm sitting here, all in front, like, hell yeah, man, hell yeah, man. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, oh, this is a mistake. But you roll with it because he's happy or he says he's happy and whatever. But so anyways, me and her were never super close. I was always super close to him. I only met her like honestly a handful of times, and it was kind of weird. Like we didn't have a lot of friends, but anyway. So I became the best man, and basically all of 2023 and half of 2024 was all talked about the wedding and all this stuff and the bachelor party, um, and all this shit. Um, and we got to the wedding like right around the week of the wedding, and so we were at the wedding rehearsal dinner. I'm sure you're familiar with those.
Yeah.
And I'll just share this on the live because I don't care. My public details are already out there so much, but I was involved in an armed robbery in February 2024. Somebody hit me with on the backside of a hammer, tried to rob back when I was selling shoes.
Dang.
So since then, I've had some like migraine problems, like migraine headaches, but that's why I wear these glasses. That's why I wear these. They help with the light. So anyways, it was a super sunny day at the rehearsal dinner. Like blaring sun, um, everything like that. And we're doing this thing where we're doing the walkouts, and I'm the best man, so I have to walk out with the best woman, maid of honor, maid of honor. I was about to say best woman.
Yeah.
Um, so you gotta walk out with them. So we start to do the walk, and the lights hitting me, and I'm getting sweaty, and I'm like, ooh, I might pass out here because like sometimes it gives you the illusion that you're gonna pass out if you're having a migraine. So I alerted the wedding planner. I'm like, hey, dude, like I gotta run to the bathroom. I gotta take a minute, like whatever, whatever, whatever. He's like, yeah, sure, whatever. So I do that. I get back, and they've kind of already finished the ceremony by the time I get back. I go stand there, whatever, whatever. We're walking back, and like my buddy's like, yeah, like don't worry about it. Like we all know that happened to you, and it sucks, and like you're dealing with that shit. But like everyone's super happy and whatever. We want you to be best. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Um, and then we get to the actual dinner part of the rehearsal, which was like a 30-minute drive away from the venue. We did a rehearsal at the wedding venue and then drove 30 minutes for the dinner. I don't know. And we get there and like the vibe is like totally changed. Um, and I'm just like kind of like, and I'm there with my mom because my mom and this guy he was basically lived in my house for like 2 years, all super close. So my mom was there, and
Hmm.
the vibes like totally changed. I'm like, damn, okay. So we sit down, and like he's not talking to me. She's just staring at me. Her mom is just staring at me. And I'm like, holy shit, like this feels like a scene straight out of a movie. Like, you know what I mean? Like one
Yeah.
of those like things. So basically, I'm trying to make some conversation, and then here all the groomsmen go, start talking about the best man plans. I'm like, oh yeah, for sure. Dope, dope, great. And then all of a sudden I'm kind of hearing, and I'm like, oh, these plans haven't been discussed to me because we were originally supposed to get a hotel room for all of us. Um, and I'm kind of listening, and I was like, am I still involved in these plans? I'm the best. He's like, oh yeah, no, 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 for sure, man, for sure. The dinner goes on, things just keep getting more awkward. So I'm like, hey, can we like go talk outside? So I pull my buddy outside, and we're talking, and he's like, people are pretty upset about the stunt you pulled today. I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, well, when you left the rehearsal, the wedding rehearsal it was kind of a bad look. I was like, yeah, I know, but like I apologized and I explained, and he was like, yeah, he's like, no, I totally understand, everything I understand, but like my fiance doesn't understand, and her mom is upset and said that we actually want to replace you as the best man. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, that's if that's what you want. He's like, well, that's not what I want. I'm like, but he's like, it's not my decision, it's her decision. I was like, okay, that's fine. I was like, I'm gonna play whatever role you want me to. Meanwhile, while we're having this conversation, here comes Bridezilla, stomping through the whatever. What the fuck are you guys talking about? I'm like, holy shit. She gets over there, she starts yelling in my ear. She's all pissed. She's like, all this stuff, like, you did this, you're making my wedding about you, you're ruining this day, you're upstanding me, all this stuff. Like, how could you do this to me? I'm like, whoa, well, like the wedding hasn't even happened yet. I'm just here, like, I was the best man. I had a migraine headache. I stepped away for 10 minutes. Ripping into me, ripping into my mom too, who like came out to be like, what the fuck is all this commotion? Um, so anyways, I was like, look, tensions are high. Let's just let's just head out. Sometimes these things happen. So we head out, and I text my buddy. I'm like, hey man, like I understand stress gets high at the wedding. Like totally cool to just be there and be supportive, not be in the ceremony. I'm like, I'm trying to be a good friend here. Um, and basically, like I didn't get a response. And I'm like, all right, whatever. I drove home. It's about an hour and a half drive. Get home, unknown number has texted my mom. No idea how they got my mom's number. Long paragraph about how were uninvited from the wedding because they don't want the drama there and it would be a bad look. And that was kind of that. So we thought, and I was like, well, this sucks. I got uninvited from my at the time best friend's wedding, and it's not his choice, and he's telling me how she controls everything and he's afraid of her and all this stuff, and I'm like, whatever, that's fine. So the night of the wedding happens, and I was out at a little kickback with my friends, we were having fun, and I get home and I'm with my girlfriend in the bedroom, and I start getting a bunch of calls from an unknown number, and I'm like, okay, like it's probably just a prank because my number's been leaked a few times before. People call her like, Chad. So I'm like, it's one of these things. They
Yeah.
keep calling. They keep calling. I finally pick up, and it's her, and she's cursing me out. She's like, you have to pay me because your friends decided not to show up to the wedding because you didn't show up. I'm like, well, that's not my choice. Like, basically all the stuff. And then she's like, I never liked you. I always hated you. I've always wanted you out of so and so's life. And I was just raving and raving, and I would like try to talk. She's like, it's my wedding, I'm talking. And this is at like 1 a.m. She kept going, and she was saying all this outlandish shit, like kind of weird sexual shit too. It got on a tangent, and like my whole take back from that is like, damn, like my boy really didn't get any action that night. He just fucking just sat in the bedroom while she was on the phone, like fucking doing that. So yeah, that was the crazy wedding story. That's probably the craziest
Damn.
story I have of anything. And I was pretty nonchalant about it. I was like, that's how it goes. It was for the best. Like, we're not friends anymore. Like, I kind of found my path without it. It's like, but that's just how it goes. But yeah, that was a
Yeah.
crazy story. That was
Yeah.
like weird. It's like never expected that would happen, but it did.
I mean, hey, shit happens.
Yeah. Well, let's see if you can top it.
Well, off from the depressed story.
Hey, we got more viewers as the story went on.
Yeah. Well, mine's not depressing. Not
Okay.
taking shots. I'm just saying it's more of a
No.
lighthearted situation. So,
All right.
the night before my wedding, well, let me backtrack. My groomsman, my best man, or wait, groomsman. That's the guy getting married. The best man, right?
The best man is the
No,
guy
groomsman.
was the best man. So the groom.
The
He's
groomsmen
just the groom.
are the people who stand. Okay, so you got the best man and the other groomsmen. So I had one of my friends. He was supposed to be the groomsman, and we had been pretty close for a short period of time. Like, we went to high school together, and then after high school, we were like hanging out and stuff. And he was always kind of like, his dad was a pastor, so pastors' kids are kind of like,
Oh yeah.
they're kind of out there as far as like
Oh,
pulling stunts.
Oh yeah. I've seen it.
So he was kind of already sketching me out a little bit with some of the stunts he was pulling, but he was a friend, like we had fun when we'd hang out together. We did a little, it's always a good time.
Okay. Yeah.
And so anyway, I started dating my wife, and I had moved, so me and him weren't really hanging out at all. But I called him one day. I was like, hey, man, like, you're one of my good friends. Would you like to be in my wedding? He was like, sure. Just let me know. So this is honestly not that far in advance. Like, I called him maybe a couple months before, but we had the wedding planned for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And I went and bought the best man, and I was going to have 2 groomsmen. And I went and bought 3 ties for them to wear, because we didn't do like tuxedos. It was just like
Fair.
dress shirts and ties. So I went and bought him a tie and everything. And I just assumed like we're all good. Like, me and him hadn't really talked, but I just assumed he said yeah. So it was going to happen. So he ends up just like completely ghosting me leading up to the wedding. And I was like, all right. So a couple days before, I'm like calling him, texting him. So
I see where this is going.
The night before,
Mm-hmm.
I had asked it was my best friend Riley, my younger brother Isaiah, and it was supposed to be my other friend.
Okay.
So I had to ask my teenage, like 13-year-old brother, like, hey man, I'm so sorry, but can you be a groomsman in my wedding?
Yeah.
He was sick as a dog, man. Food poisoning, and he didn't have like boots or nothing, because it was like a very country style wedding, so we wore boots. I had to give him my boots. They were size 13. He's like a size 9 or something.
You wear a size 13?
Yeah. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, I know. I don't have the height to match it though.
I know. That's why I said damn.
5'8".
Yeah.
So anyway, so there's that, right? Uh, he just kind of ghosted me, and apparently he ended up telling one of my other friends, like he felt bad about it a couple years later, but he never reached out.
Never reached out.
Yeah, I ran into him not that long ago at a gas station, and he was like, "Man, we got to hang out and stuff." And I was just like, "Okay, whatever." Anyway, moving on to the funny part. My best man, my friend Riley, me and him and my brother Isaiah, we went back to my house the night before the wedding after the rehearsal dinner, and we were like, we're not going to do nothing too crazy. So we're playing pong, beer pong.
Sure.
We're drinking some homemade wine. Next, one thing leads to another. We're getting really like sloppy, messed up.
Oh no.
So my best friend wakes up. He cannot get out of the bed the next day. It's like a couple hours before the wedding, and he's still in bed, like moaning and groaning and shit. Like, I can't move, nothing. He's like throwing up.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, I thought he was going to miss the wedding.
Yeah.
So I finally convinced him. I'm like, hey, what if you participate? I got to be careful what I say because this will get my life taken down. You got to participate in the devil's lettuce activity to get your hangover gone.
Oh, gosh.
And he's like, I think you're right.
Oh, Jesus.
So we're talking like an hour before the wedding. He finally is able to roll over and get his stuff packed, and he finally takes a few hits, and it was like instant. He's like, I'm better. I'm like, okay, cool. Let's get to the wedding. I'm almost late because of that.
Right. It's your own wedding.
Yeah, I'm almost late. We finally get there. Keep in mind, we're 19, so we had just moved out of this youth group phase at church because I used to go to church. And I had my youth pastor was officiating the wedding. He's got the bag that it was in sticking out of his pocket. And me and him,
the youth pastor or the guy who
my best friend Riley.
Okay.
He's got the bag that it was in, if you know what I'm talking about, the green devil's lettuce sticking out of his shirt because he forgot about it. Right. So it's me, him, my wife's dad, who's very against that stuff, by the way.
Oh no.
And the youth pastor. We're all sitting there in a circle talking like right before the wedding.
Right.
And he's like, hey man, the youth pastor says to Riley, hey man, you might want to take care of that. Reaches up to grab what's in his shirt. And my friend smacked his hand out of the way and said, I don't remember what he said, but I'll never forget. He smacked his hand down.
Smacked the youth pastor.
Yeah. And he pushed it back down in his shirt. And he's like, oh, my bad.
That's got to be a sin, bro. Oh
so,
my God.
Yeah, he almost got caught, which would have been bad because, like I said, not only was her dad like super against that kind of stuff, he already had like accused me of being a pea head.
Right. And given where you're from too, it's not a super popular thing there.
Yeah, we're in the Bible Belt. I mean, it's
yeah.
But not only that we got married at her grandmother's house. Like she has really nice property, and we had hay bales for the seats and everything. It was really cool. But like cool. She has a government job.
Right.
Okay. The kind where you could get in trouble for stuff like that. And
so she's making the bread.
Yeah, it could have been like a pretty bad situation had it became a big deal. Because had that been brought to the spotlight, it would have been a big deal. I just know that the kind of people that we were around, it would have been like that kind of situation. So, but anyway, long story short, that's all it was.
The youth pastor, that was probably not on his bingo card. And did the youth pastor have any reaction?
Well, not really. Not like in a bad way. It did kind of throw him off. It wasn't like a smack that hurt. It was more of just like a hey, like don't. Like hey. Yeah, like
get the fuck out of here.
Like,
Don't let's not go where we shouldn't.
Yeah, mind your business, kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
but anyway,
that's a couple wedding snafus. I mean, mine was definitely more like a soap opera. Yours was definitely more like a comedy skit.
Yeah. Well, I guess maybe the first half of my story was depressing. Like one of my groomsmen just completely ghosted me.
Yeah, that's sad, dude.
Yeah, it was a little sad. But it is what it is.
You know, you give them that honor and they fucking do that.
Yeah. But well.
I mean, look, maybe the two of them will be watching this podcast one day.
Maybe so.
And they'll see a bunch of people clowning them.
Yeah.
A bunch of people clowning them.
Like I said, he ran into me at the gas station a couple months ago, and he just kind of played it off as like, oh man, we used to be good friends. Let's hang out sometime. Let's play music together. Because that's something we did. We would jam. Like we both play guitar.
Oh, you play guitar?
Yeah, I play the guitar,
Okay,
piano.
cool. I didn't know that.
That was like my first creative outlet was music.
Well, like, what kind of music?
I played in my youth band.
Okay,
So there was that.
little
I
church
really,
boy.
yeah, not anymore.
Okay.
But anyway, so there was that, and then like I played band in high school.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a band guy, so
Okay.
I never did marching band because I played football, but I did do
Okay.
concert band.
Best of both worlds.
Yeah, yeah. And
That's
then
dope.
like I was in a metal band when I was a teenager. So I've got some
Okay.
recordings. I've got recordings on my SoundCloud.
Yeah, send them over to me
Yeah.
because my dad's a musician, so he would be
Okay,
really
yeah.
interested.
It's crappy though. Keep in mind this was like when I was 15.
He'd still probably be interested and curious
Yeah.
to hear it.
But
It was my parents met in a band.
okay,
They
cool.
they were in a band together, and that's how they met.
Nice.
So we come from I didn't pursue music at all, but that was their thing.
Okay,
So
cool.
that's why I was like, oh, you play guitar because my dad plays guitar, so I'm sure he'd like to hear that.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, yeah, that's so
What a cool detail.
yeah. That's kind of why I wouldn't say I want to be a rapper, but that's why like rapping is a hobby because music plays such
Right.
a deep part in
You
like
enjoy
my
making
upbringing.
music.
Yeah,
Music is
music.
art. Music
Yeah, it is.
art. I respect that.
I have other things I want to do with music. I have a piano like right behind this,
I don't know.
and my daughter's in piano lessons, but I wish that I played more. I don't
Yeah.
have the time.
You're a working man. I mean, you kind of
Yep.
run out of time to do the things you want. Reading the chat, people are saying a lot of nice stuff about us, and people are laughing about both of our stories, especially smacking the youth pastor.
How many people's in your live right now?
It was at like 130, but right now it's at like 85 as the story's toned down.
Dude, my live has been I've not gotten over like 60 views.
Huh.
At a time.
Interesting. Yeah, I was at 140 while I was telling the story.
Yeah, that's my average, man. Or
Yeah.
like even 300.
Says, how many total viewers do you have?
2,800.
I have 3,400.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not bad. And we're going to post this on YouTube and everyone's going to be able to watch it. And we're going to figure out how to get it on Spotify.
Spotify, Apple, we'll get it everywhere.
Yeah. Well, this was a good episode comparative to our last one. The last one I was on the treadmill for half of it. This one felt really officially official.
Yeah. Which I know that you said you don't have a lot of time left, so we'll save. I know I texted you earlier, like I had a talking point. I feel like it's a funny little bit, so we'll save that for next episode. So be sure you don't miss it.
Yeah. What were we thinking next Friday, probably?
Friday or Saturday, either one.
Yeah, I'm game for either one, to be honest. Yesterday, I just didn't have my setup ready to go.
And it kind of worked out for me too because I didn't even like get home and like get done with everything I had to get done for the night, like shower, get my kids to bed, things like that. It was like already 8:30, which is 9:30 your time, and it wouldn't have been. I wouldn't have been in the best mental space from just the stress of the day.
Yeah, and that's fair. I mean, for me, I just know that like my dad really wanted to set this up for me and help me, and he really wanted to like see this podcast with the new setup. So I definitely was like, we gotta wait.
Yeah,
we gotta wait until this looks good.
Yeah, for sure.
'Cause he's helped me so much with this. Shout out my dad. I don't know if he's still watching, but
nice.
But yeah, no, this is good. I like where this is going. Actually, this is really fun for me. I think that, and I really like that idea about the media company.
Yeah, and I'll have to get with you about the skit idea I have for us.
Yeah, please do. You can shoot me a FaceTime call or a phone call. We can talk about it. But I think a media company. You ever heard of American High Shorts?
Yeah, I like them.
Yeah, like something similar to that.
Or like for me, who I've really been watching lately is That's a Bad Idea. You heard of them?
Yeah, I've heard of them.
Yeah, I really like what they do. They remind me of like Key and Peele style skits. So
and that would be a perfect thing for us to kind of play off of.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, it's kind of like, I think that would be really good to do like a media company because then, but and not in Chad and Kyle character because it's in Elijah Ben character because it's kind of developing more, giving us more outreach because at the end of the day, our skits are amazing, in my opinion, but you can only get so far with skits that only appear to one audience.
Right.
The way you grow is by appearing to more.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
But that's pretty much all I got to say.
Well, hell yeah.
Yeah, I know my girlfriend is ready for me to get off the podcast.
There you go.
But she was very nice. I had plans for tonight. We went out for dinner, and I said, "Look, I got to do this episode." And she's so supportive of the grind, so I really appreciate it. And
That's awesome,
I'm sure
man.
your wife is the same because she
Oh
I
yeah.
see that she. Yeah, my girlfriend's recorded so many of my videos, and
Oh yeah. Mine too.
we'll be together like watching TV, and I'm fucking checking the TikTok, the views, and the shit, and like it's just part of it. Like they just understand that. Like, I mean, I don't know if she really understands my skits fully, but
Yeah.
because who could really understand a chat skit fully?
Yeah. I was gonna ask you. Speaking of her, me and my wife were talking about the video you did where she was like in it, and I was like, I think she's Russian, but I'm not sure. And I was gonna ask you.
She's Italian.
Italian, okay. It sounded kind of Russian. I was like, I couldn't tell, but I'm not good with accents, you know.
Yeah, she's Italian. She hasn't even lived here for 2 years yet, so she's still getting the hang of the language. But she's doing a great job. She's acclimating. It's a way different from where she came from. So
Yeah, well, I've heard a lot of,
Good
I've heard a
old
lot of
America.
stories. Yeah,
I mean, land of the great, right?
yeah. Go America.
There's been some crazy shit happening. I don't think I want to dive into politics on this podcast, but there's been some
for
crazy
sure.
shit happening this past week.
Yeah,
Like with the plane crashes. Well, I mean, dude, I live in DC. I live 10 minutes out of DC.
yeah.
Like that was huge news. My mom knew someone who died on that plane.
Dang.
Fucking crazy. Yeah. Like I met him too. It was crazy. Like just nuts. But yeah, man, this was great. It's a pleasure as always. I'm looking forward to these future episodes, dude.
Hell yeah.
And I gotta stop slacking. I gotta start posting the short clips on Instagram.
Yep. And TikTok.
Yeah, I'm gonna post them on. I'm kind of worried about like posting them on there and it killing my engagement on my actual platform.
I don't think so.
You said that though. You were the one who brought that up.
Well, sometimes texting isn't the best way to convey a message.
Okay.
It's mostly if you start interacting with your main account with another account that you have on the same device.
Okay.
Even if you're in the same like if you share an IP address, it can affect that. So like
okay.
If you log in from a brand new phone but you're on the same internet as your main account, just don't interact between the two accounts. So like definitely post them to TikTok.
I unfollowed both of our accounts on Behind the Skit.
Yeah, just don't go to your main page.
And I unfollowed on Instagram because I didn't know.
Yeah. I don't remember what the term of service it is that you'd be violating, but it's basically they kind of take it as like spam. If you're like if you're using two accounts and you're trying to promote one or the other, I don't know. I don't know why. I think it's stupid.
Yeah, that's very stupid, but I won't be doing that because I've seen plenty of people with two accounts. So
yeah, you can have two accounts. Just don't, like I said, don't be reposting your videos. Like those videos, don't like them. Don't follow that account. Just keep keep them separate.
Cool. Yeah, I'm probably gonna target to post like 1 minute clips. Probably once a day, maybe twice.
Yeah, that'll work.
I mean, the first segment we had some good stuff, but the quality is so much better on this one.
Yeah.
That I think these clips are going to actually get good views compared to me like dicking around in the trash.
And I will actually start looking into investing into a better camera for myself as well.
After the live, I'm gonna obviously talk to my girlfriend, and then I'm gonna go talk to my dad and figure out what the camera he was that he discovered and the interfacer, and then I'll send you those. Nothing was like to break the bank or anything like that. Like it wasn't that expensive.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
So, should be good moving forward. You probably have Amazon Prime, so you could get those within like a day or two.
Yeah. Yep. Sweet.
Well, this was fun.
Hell yeah, man. Until next time.
I guess we'll see everybody next week.